In the early hours of a cold December morning, Dr. Evelyn Carter, an astrophysicist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, was reviewing data from the New Horizons spacecraft. The probe, now far beyond Pluto, had been sending back routine readings for years. But this time, something was off. A faint rhythmic signal had appeared in the data, a pulse so subtle it was almost missed. At first, Evelyn thought it was interference, a cosmic hiccup. But as she cross-referenced the data with other deep space observatories, the signal persisted. It wasn't random. It was deliberate. Her heart raced as she realized what she was looking at. The signal was coming from a region of space that was supposed to be empty, a region where no planet should exist. She called her colleague, Dr. Marcus Lee, into the room. Together they analyzed the data, their excitement growing with each passing minute. The signal was real, and it was coming from something massive. "This can't be right," Marcus muttered, staring at the screen. "There's nothing out there, nothing we know of anyway." Evelyn leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if we've been wrong all along? What if there's something out there we've never seen?" The news spread quickly through NASA. A hidden planet lurking on the edge of the solar system had been discovered. Dubbed Erebus after the ancient Greek god of darkness, the planet was shrouded in mystery. Its existence defied all known models of planetary formation. It was as if the universe had hidden a secret right under humanity's nose. The public was captivated. News outlets ran headlines like "NASA discovers hidden planet. What does it mean for humanity?" and "Erebus, the dark world at the edge of our solar system." Conspiracy theorists claimed it was proof of alien life, while scientists scrambled to explain how such a massive object had remained undetected for so long. But for Evelyn and Marcus, the discovery was personal. They had been the first to see it, the first to realize that humanity's understanding of the cosmos was incomplete. And now they were determined to uncover the truth. NASA fast-tracked a mission to Erebus. The Ether-1, a state-of-the-art spacecraft, was retrofitted for the journey. A crew of 6 was selected. Commander Jack Harlan, a seasoned astronaut with a reputation for keeping his cool under pressure. Dr. Elena Marquez, a brilliant but emotionally guarded biologist. Lieutenant Sarah Kane, a sharp and resourceful engineer. Dr. Raj Patel, a geologist with a knack for solving puzzles. Dr. Mei Ling, a psychologist specializing in extreme environments. And Corporal Alexei Volkov, a no-nonsense security officer. The crew trained for months, preparing for every possible scenario, but no amount of training could prepare them for what they would find. As the Ether-1 approached Erebus, the crew was struck by its eerie beauty. The planet was a dark, icy world, its surface scarred with jagged mountains and deep crevasses. A faint, bioluminescent glow emanated from the ground, casting an otherworldly light. "It's like nothing I've ever seen," Elena said, her voice filled with awe. But as they descended, the mood shifted. The planet's atmosphere was thin and frigid, and the silence was unnerving. The crew felt a growing sense of unease, as if they were being watched. "Stay sharp," Jack said, his voice steady but firm. "We don't know what we're dealing with here." The team set up their base camp on the surface, but strange things began to happen almost immediately. Equipment malfunctioned for no apparent reason. The bioluminescent plants seemed to pulse in time with the rhythmic signal from the planet. And then there were the whispers. At first, they were faint, barely audible over the sound of the wind. But as the crew ventured deeper into the icy caverns, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to come from the walls themselves, echoing in the darkness. "Do you hear that?" May asked, her voice trembling. "It sounds like voices." The others nodded, their faces pale. Even Jack, usually unflappable, looked uneasy. "Let's keep moving," he said, "but stay close, and keep your eyes open." As the crew explored the caverns, the whispers began to take on a more sinister tone. They spoke of fear, regret, and guilt, things the crew had buried deep within themselves. Sarah saw visions of her brother, who had died in a car accident. Raj heard his mother's voice, accusing him of abandoning her. Elena was haunted by the memory of her husband, who had died in a failed space mission. The entity, whatever it was feeding on their minds, twisting their thoughts and emotions. The crew began to turn on each other, their paranoia growing with each passing hour. "We need to get out of here," Alexei said, his voice tight with fear. "This place, it's not safe." But it was too late. The entity had already taken hold. In the heart of the cavern, the crew found the source of the signal, a massive pulsating crystal surrounded by swirling shadows. The entity spoke to them, its voice echoing in their minds. "You should not have come," it said. "This is a prison, and you have awakened me." Elena stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "What are you? Why are you here?" The entity showed them visions of its past. It was a being of immense power, imprisoned on Erebus by an ancient civilization. The crystals were its shackles, and the whispers were its cries for freedom. "We didn't know," Jack said, his voice filled with regret. "We didn't mean to wake you." But the entity was not interested in apologies. It wanted freedom, and it would do whatever it took to escape. The crew made a desperate dash for the Ether One, but the entity was not done with them. The cavern shifted and collapsed, trapping Alexei beneath a wall of ice. Sarah was consumed by shadows, her screams echoing in the darkness. Jack, Elena, Raj, and May reached the ship, but as they prepared for liftoff, they realized the entity had followed them. It clung to the hull, its shadowy tendrils seeping into the ship. "We can't let it reach Earth," Jack said, his voice grim. "We have to destroy the ship." Elena hesitated. There has to be another way. But there wasn't. As the entity breached the hull, Jack initiated the self-destruct sequence. The last thing Elena saw was the entity's glowing eyes, filled with a strange, almost human sadness. The Aether One exploded in a flash of light, its debris scattering across Erebus's surface. Back on Earth, the mission was declared a tragic failure. But in the final moments before the explosion, a transmission was sent. "This is Dr. Elena Marquez of the Aether One. Do not return to Erebus. The planet is alive, it's a prison, and we woke it up." As the transmission ended, the rhythmic signals from Erebus began to change. They grew faster, more urgent. The planet's bioluminescent glow pulsed like a heartbeat, as if calling out to the stars. Somewhere in the void, the entity waited.